Welcome back to week 2 of Gladiators Olympian League. We had a slight problem coming with one of the teams, so we swapped our stream game this week to Abusement Park and Rainbow Kittens rather than what was originally announced. Now, they just got into draft here, and this week I'm going to be casting with Gavin. And Gavin, what do you think about these two teams going into this?
So we knew Rainbow Kittens was fairly decent in Olympia last season, and then we have a couple carryovers from Gold League into Olympian this season, like Rufu and IMUU moving up. So they have a pretty decent team with Elspeth over there as well.
Elspeth is actually no longer on that team.
Oh. Well. Yeah.
So they actually moved their sub-mid laner Kittenz into the main role. And just to go back to the draft that's happening right now, we've got Rise and Victor bands coming out from Rainbow Kittens, and a Katarina Graves band coming out from Abusement Park. Rainbow Kittens is going to finish their round 1 dress up with Zaya, and then Abusement Park is going to finish out with
Wings bound,
Morgana.
earthly tethered. I move against the false promises of order and justice.
That's a pretty typical first, pick set.
I'm an idiot. Why is the draft wrong?
Yep.
Well, if they, Let's ask them.
That's why I was confused. I thought I was right.
I find courage unpredictable. It's total insanity you can rely on.
I thought I was losing brain cells, but I actually wasn't. I was gaining them. I like how they didn't even notice.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so just the names are wrong. They actually have the correct links.
Okay.
So can they still hear us?
Pleased to meet you.
Oh, okay. Hello. So, on the side of... So on your screen, it's going to show Abusement Park and Rainbow Kittens. Swap those names around. We've got Set coming out for Abusement Park first off. That's probably for their support, who's basically a Set OTP at this point. A little bit of a one-trick pony when Morgana gets banned. Rainbow Kittens is going to bring out that Kled and that Lulu. Lulu kind of hints to me that they might be trying to put RKZ on R-Dubstress, I associate them as the same thing at this point, on a hyper carry. They're going to bring out Caitlyn, and I'm assuming they're going to pick up support here. Never mind, I said Set was support. They're going to probably pick up jungler here, or they're going to try to get a counter for that Kled. Sorry, I'm a little slow today.
As I live, all will die.
And the Renekton comes out for top lane.
Renekton and the Kled, that's not a bad matchup for it. It's basically whichever one of them gets put ahead by their jungler first, or if somebody slips up in a fight.
Yeah, it's pretty much snowbally. Whoever does well first.
I will say it's harder for the Renekton to snowball that lane than it is for the Kled to snowball that lane. I'm looking to see ADC come out on the side of Rainbow Kittens here.
Punch first. Ask questions while punching.
And they actually picked jungler, and they're going to put Vi in.
I promise.
So Rainbow Kittens is going to ban that Olaf.
They cannot handle Nico.
And then that Nico ban's going to come out from the side of Abusement Park.
Dealing with a good Nico could be a real pain in the...
Yeah, it's just one of those things where if you don't know that they're, like, extremely good on the champion, that she's really easy to put behind.
Yep. She's one of the few champions that can root you through minions, though.
True. I'm waiting on that last ban to come out from RKZ. And they're going to ban the Trundle. So they're hoping to get Mute off of some of those early aggressive champions to put them on something just a little bit weaker, it seems like.
I am forsaken.
And then they're going to ban the Varus out from the side of Abusement Park. Alright, so what do you want to see come out of RKZ here for the 80 carry role?
Something that has a decent range and isn't going to get bullied by Caitlyn all game, especially with a set in the bot lane.
Well, with Xayah and Varus out, it really leaves the Felios. Ashe works out too. They can just play a pretty safe lane on that. They can play more towards like objective control. They have pretty good go buttons. They just wait for Vi to show up, or they wait for them to misstep. They're just gonna basically be playing back kiting unless that set steps really far out of line early.
Looks like both teams are trying to hide mid for last pick. Could that be a Mundo jungle?
I believe that is the Mundo jungle. It's been a hot second since I've watched Mundo jungles in 5s, and then they're gonna round it out with a Syndra. So they have a pretty thick front line and 2 hyper carries potential on the side of Abusement Park here. They're a little more damage heavy on both teams rather than just traditional tanks. They're more the bruiser routes. Mundo still fits with the tank, but he has a pretty good damage output. Let's see what RKZ rounds their comp out with here in the mid lane. I know our chat would really like Galio to come out, or at least Zerobi would.
I will bury the world in ice.
And they're going to bring out Lissandra, so they're kind of looking for a pick comp here on the side of RKZ, whereas it feels more like they want a siege or a pick fight, or they want a siege or a team fight on the side of Abusement Park.
So in my opinion, I definitely like Abusement.
I'm sorry, you cut out there.
I like Abusement comps a little bit better here.
Okay, can you tell me why?
I feel like it's going to take a lot for them to get to the back. At least
Okay.
in my opinion. And like you have the Syndra for disengage. Caitlyn can get away. Set's going to bully people. But I could be wrong. We'll see.
So that makes sense. The one thing is if Renekton and Mundo get put behind really early, their front line is really susceptible to like being really easy to get past if they are put behind.
Yeah. If they,
yeah.
they're not gonna be able to scale like they should.
Yeah, they have a pretty hard line for when they get turned on. Plus, on the side of RKZ, with the Kled, the Lulu Polymorph, Vi going in, Ashe, Alt, and Lissandra, they have very good dive potential to just go towards the carries rather than being forced into a front-to-back, though their front-to-back isn't awful either with Lulu polymorphing out. I'm gonna say I actually like RKZ's draft just a bit better here. I think they've just got a better all-around tempo to it, whereas it feels like Abusement Park has, outside of the Renekton, who's pretty strong early, it feels like it's waiting for a lot of them to get online for it.
Yeah. I'm just glad we disagree, because normally on the streams they agree with the same comp.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we got a little bit of differing opinions here.
All about perspective.
Well, I'm going to say it was my solo. I would prefer the blue one.
Okay.
They cannot handle
It's true. Red side definitely is one of those ones where you coordinate for it to work out. But like here in fives, I feel like they just have the better layering for their CC, so long as they play it. That being said, it's about putting basically Abusement Park's top half of the map behind early.
And it is, Rainbow Kittens has played since last season together, at least most of them. So they do have synergy together, so they could probably do themselves better than, say a lot of
True. And Olympian, I don't believe, has any lottery teams at the current time.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Except the newly formed one, but I don't even think that's lottery.
It is not. It is another team that was pulled by some of the previous champions, team in a different org.
Oh, it's glad to see that Olympian's doing better than what it was last year.
True. Now let's just see if we can pick up our teams together in Gladiator. Yeah, Zerobi. So the ADC in Caitlyn is actually a sub this week. I do not know what happened, but there's a good chance Yama ran them out.
All right, now we got that awkward pause,
Yep. So with this time, what have you been thinking so far with how the teams have been looking this year for Olympian?
For Olympian, I don't have the stats in front of me right now. I know that at least for the most part, amusement parks look decent. They went 2-1 last week, and then you have Rainbow Kittens going, sweeping that series.
Mhm.
So, this should be an entertaining game. I
Okay.
caught some of who played last week on
Chaos
Chaos
and
Fried
Chicken.
Chicken. Earl King's just a monster. That's all I gotta say. At least on that Galio game that I watched.
Yep.
And what about you?
So far, outside of Chaos and Noble Concern feel like they're a little underwhelming just for the fact that like between the two of them, I believe they only have one previous plat player at the current time. Whereas other teams have plat players that have previously hit Diamond. They've got some of the teams that are fully plat players. I believe one of them has a D4 on it, but don't quote me. And it feels like they're a little outscaled on some of that. So some of the teams, any of the silver players up here, I feel like they just get really outclassed when we put them up against a plat player. But I don't know. It feels like there's a lot wider gap this season in Olympian from what I remember of last season. I was not here for the entirety of it.
I remember I played in basically Olympian 2 seasons ago, and I got my ass kicked fairly decently. So I know the gap. I know it all too well.
I feel ya.
But hey, it makes you better playing against better people.
True, that or it can demoralize a person. It really just depends on how consistently it goes through and how big the gap is.
What type of mental do you have?
That is the game we call League of Legends nowadays, isn't it?
Very true. I just want to see some, big NBA fight right off the bat. That's what I want. I want action. Instant action.
I don't see either of these teams invading. They feel like there's not a strong engager on any of them aside from maybe Klez, Bear Trap, and a rope, but it's very inconsistent. It's not a full hook, so it's better just to look for a 5-point.
I just want enjoyment, okay? I know they aren't
Okay.
going to be. Just want fun.
My bad, my bad.
I mean, people have been coming up with more creative, like, invade methods, so who knows?
Well, let's get started here.
Alright, so we pause at 12 here.
Yep. Alright, are you all set?
Yep.
Matt? Alrighty.
Alright. Yep.
I'm at 27, 28, 29.
30.
Alright, it does look like they are going to see each other here in the river. But nothing's really going to happen here, and they're going to move towards more traditional 5-point standings. Mundo is going to back off that and grab his sweeper. And Syndra and Vi are going to awkwardly look at each other in this bush.
3 damage.
Yeah, it'll be healed up by the time the buff starts.
She's back in. Vi's back in for a sweeper as well. At least.
The interesting part about that is that she didn't. She backed
she didn't.
for health.
I told you, free damage.
I guess.
That would have been the perfect time for a sweeper.
So both junglers are going to start red side here. They look like they are going to be cross-mat from each other. On the side of Amusement Park, looks like they're going to end up top once they hit 3, and RKZ is going to end on the bottom side for their 3 clear. So Abusement Park's jungler looks like he's going for more of a full clear, which makes sense because Mundo's not as strong early on. We've got some minimal trading going on here in the early half.
Sep misses his grab.
And then we do see Mundo recalling right after 3 camps. Right after 3 camps, he's gonna go red chickens into blue, go for a reset. And it looks like he is passing again towards the top side of the map. Vi looks like she's coming down towards bottom, maybe setting up for a gank. She's going down through their tri-bush at the moment. And she just leaves the ward and backs off. Top lane's being shoved in from Abusement Park into RKZ. Mid lane's at a pretty good standstill. And bottom seems to be bouncing waves back to...
Everything's looking pretty even so far in the CS number. Caitlyn has a small.
She's up about half a wave.
Yep.
There's some trading going on the top lane. Kled narrowly missing getting dismounted there. Both junglers look like they're about to meet up here in the river. RKZ does have priority on the mid lane side, and top in a full trade here. Mute is going to get caught out here, but he is going to take the fight with them. Kled's getting dismounted in the top lane. Renekton looks like he's going for it, and they're just going to walk away from each other.
Now, if only that ukulele was a briefcase, because I love the money man skin.
Fair, fair.
But you
Rufu gonna
Go ahead.
crash that wave and back up. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
No, that was all.
Don't make this awkward, man.
Bypass back towards her Krugs. While Mundo is towards bottom side river, does look like they're gonna get some entryway vision from the blue team. Bot's gonna continue just to shove waves back and forth, as does mid, and then top looks like they're gonna meet at blue side tower. Mundo's looking for some invade right here while Vi's clearing her top side camps. Dragon is just about up here. Abusement Park is going to hold priority for that. Lulu is going to get heavily chunked out in a trade in the bottom lane. RKZ is setting up their own vision for the river, but they have started Dragon from the side of Abusement Park. Bottom lane and mid are rotating to it, and it looks like they're just going to get this for free right off spawn with it. Vi's coming down to contest, but there's not really anything she can do. Dragon goes down for Abusement Park.
They got Hawk shotted, but nothing was able to be had from it. So. Free Dragon over to Abusement Park. Now it's Ocean. Mundo loves Ocean Drag.
True, true. But he's not going to get an Ocean Soul out of it. Vi clearing down towards bottom, looking to just clear away some vision. Abusement Park's bot lane backs off, so there's not really a potential for Vi to get a gank off here. Mundo is in the area. If she does come, she is just going to get put in between them. Top is looking for some trades here again. Kled on the wrong side of that. No minions. Vi looking to try to make something happen here in the mid lane, but she's just wasting a lot of time for ill-favored lanes. Kled's gonna remount here in the top lane, but Rufu's still just gonna crash that wave into him. Vi still wandering around in enemy jungle, not really accomplishing anything. Looks like she's gonna wait in this bush for either Red or Mundo to show up. She is going to start taking that red buff, but Mundo is almost there. Bot lane's going to do some trading before Abusement Park crashes a wave back into them. And it looks like Vi and Mundo have met in the jungle. Mundo did take the red from her, and he's going to run her out. He's going to flash over the wall and take her life for it.
Mundo has that Cinder Hulk now. Or Bomby Cinder, he's gonna hurt now.
Yeah. Kled and Renekton going into a trade here, but Mundo is in the river for that, so if Kled were to commit, it doesn't even matter, though, because Renekton looks like he's just gonna run him down. They're gonna walk away once Kled gets to the tower, though. He's out of a dismount. Mundo secures the top side crab. Abusement Park bot lane as Crash Wave, and they are backing. Vi's just looking to farm up her jungle after getting caught out, as is Mundo.
He is 2 levels up right now.
2 levels and 24 CS. There's a large CS advantages in every role, including support, on the side of Abusement Park towards RKZ. I know earlier in the week, R-Dubs was saying that he's going to show us by taking a W on one of the bigger teams this week, so I'm hoping to see that today. So I'm interested to see how they come out of this gold deficit, because right now, it's a 2k gold lead, almost on the side of Abusement Park. It's a little less, actually.
If Mundo gets any more far ahead, it's going to be really tough to kill him. Unless they get some type of healing reduction early. Take a pit stop for the Executioner.
I believe Kled has a little bit built in.
Yeah.
And then just building a Grievous Wound item on Ashe isn't too hard. They're going to drop that Herald down in the mid lane. just to get some plate damage gold onto Mundo and Syndra. They're not looking to force any towers or anything off of it. Mundo used that to distract Vi and is going to steal the blue buffs. Set is walking up to give him some security there. But Vi arrives right as they're walking out. Mundo's looking like he's gonna actually come over and run her off this Gromp. Is she gonna run her down completely? No. But he is gonna blow her flash and look to secure the Gromp. Bot lane's gonna rotate over and they're just gonna settle for taking her flash. Lissandra rotates and this might be a kill. Ashe ult comes out. Lissandra ult comes out. Lissandra might get run down, but Mundo and Set are gonna die for it. Renekton came in with the TP. He's gonna get the Lulu. He's chasing down this Lissandra. And she's gonna go down. In the end, that is a 2 for 2 in that trade, but I would say that Abusement Park did come out on top. They're about 1.8 gold up now and 2 kills. The solo laners should be able to get some free plate damage off this mid tower. Dragon is about to be up. Abusement Park does have priority for it at the current time, but Vi is looking to beeline for either the Crab or Vision, it looks like, completely ignoring that Syndra at mid tower. Vi does look like she's trying to secure that Crab, but she does not have priority in any way, and they are looking to collapse on her right there. Though numbers advantages on the side of RKZ.
Kled has been off his mount most of this game.
That's kind of expected in that lane, though.
Yeah.
Unek has pretty heavy trading potential into that. It does look like RKZ is gonna start this dragon. Abusement Park is looking to rotate onto them. Are they able to burn it in time? I think they should be able to. They are going to secure the dragon. They're going to catch Syndra ult. She is going to blow Cleanse and Flash. And they're going to just use the Ashe ult, pull the trigger. They're going to take Syndra down. And then Abusement Park's going to chase them down. But this is the reason I said I like the RKZ comp. They've got so much CC to throw in. Getting a pick and then running it down. They have such good team fight engage. Kled's gonna get dismounted again. Oh, go ahead.
And, you know, Ashe is right back in it with them 3 kills.
Yeah, she is. And then we're gonna see another kill picked up in the top lane and a plate go over to the Renekton, though. Trying to even out that gold just a little bit. But we are only about a 500 gold difference now after that dragon fight.
So Ashe will be coming back with a full Essence Reaver. At least that's what I assume she's building.
I would say Essence Reaver is what that is. There's not really any other reason she should have that hammer. Kled does look like he's going for that Bork build. Those parries on the side of RKZ came out of that very well off. Whereas you just have most of your front line with damage on the side of Abusement Park, so it's going to be a little harder for those team fights because they're going to lack some of the damage.
Yeah. So, RKZ's carries are definitely, you know, having decent success right now. So, you know, the only people that are having success are the, you know, Renekton and the Mundo, which isn't really the damage.
Assault's coming out for the Syndra in mid lane. Vi's looking to go for a gank on it. Lissandra's going to go make an ult. Vi's going to use her ult to 3 ults and pick off the Syndra. Syndra is still going to trade that as a 1-for-1, even though 3 ults were blown on it.
That's the power of Syndra.
True. I'd almost say that's more the power of, like, Vi tower diving when unneeded. But that's me.
We'll say it's both.
I'll take it. Alright, it did look like they were posing for a dive there in the bottom lane, but Mundo did just walk off it. He does look like he's going back up for it, though. clears their control ward, looks to clear the secondary ward they put on, and he's just gonna walk it out. Lissandra is looking to rotate down, and Vi's coming down here. Are they gonna try and just force a 4-man off this? It does not look like it, but Rift Herald is gonna be up in just a minute here.
The CS gap in jungle is huge right now.
CS gap in jungle is huge, and it's about half that for the AD carry role at the moment. Everything else has pretty much come to an expected level of difference. Though I will say, some of the stuff they've been talking about with RDUPS potentially having another carry on his team, somebody else to pull some weight in their mid laner, is looking to be true in this. Syndra and Vi are gonna find each other in the river here, and they're just gonna walk away. Does look like they're having that standoff for Herald, but Abusement Park does have numbers advantage with the support having roamed with the ADC and Renekton going bottom.
Teleports up for Renekton and Kled.
They look like they're just going to give this with, it looks like bottom setting up to do their rotation with top lane. Really late for that objective call. It almost feels like they should have just kept bottom down there with Dragon about to spawn.
Especially if they were going to concede it.
Yep. Yeah, as you can see, they had the same thought we did, and they look like they are walking down. Mundo's going to drop that Herald mid right off the bat for contention pressure. Vi is almost going to get herself caught out here, and Astralt is actually going to hit set. They're going to layer that with the Lissandra ult and Vi ult again, but they're actually going to take Vi, and Set's going to live. That is first tower on the side of Abusement Park, and they look like they're just going to walk it back for Dragon.
Shelly was a huge part of that team fight. She hit like three enemies and did a lot of damage.
Yeah. The Gold League just keeps swinging back and forth in this game, with it now being 3K in the advantage of Abusement Park. And that is Infernal Drake going down towards their side. The first of what they're hoping to be 3 towards their soul.
So what do you think RKZ needs to do to get ahead?
Use all 3 of their ults on a set support. I think they need to be layering the ults. That has to probably be on that Syndra, because he's the one doing a lot of the impact damage in this fight, but it has to be in a 5v5 or at the minimum a 4v5, but if they get caught out like that, their support's gonna go down for free, and they're just gonna get ran down. Lissandra doesn't even follow the E there because they're just gonna get ran over. Syndra's looking to take Ashe with them too, and all 3 of the members that showed up have died in the mid lane here. They're gonna disrespect Lissandra entirely and just take the tower. Lissandra's gonna try and get something off the Syndra here, but she is gonna be quick on the response for that. They're looking to try and take it, but Mute's gonna go down for being greedy under the tower. Before this, he did say we should take notes, and I am taking some.
Yeah. Don't tower dive with Lissandra.
Don't stand under tower aggro when she's in ult.
So all that tower plating gold from the rifts to Syndra is finally starting to pay off hugely.
For sure, and if you look back at gold advantages, it is a 4K lead on the side of Abusement Park here. It's about to be even more than that. They're going to have 2 towers go down before RKZ can even take 1. RKZ got a lot of early advantages off here, but just kind of sat in their lanes and didn't push it at all. Their jungler kind of got put really far behind in that aspect. Mute is approaching that 100 CS gap on the enemy jungler at the moment. Currently 60 up.
Vi doesn't have a scanner.
Vi still does not have a sweeper. Lysandra, the only one up in CS on their lane opponent at this current time. And if you were actually to look at the gold in a little more depth, Lulu's gonna get caught out for stepping up here. She's gonna blow her ult to get away, but she's just gonna get ran down by them. Ashe ult's gonna stop the Syndra. Lulu's gonna go down. Fled comes in to fight the Mundo. Syndra and Mundo are gonna try to pick out Kled on the side of this fight, while Lysandra ult's gonna come down. Set's gonna go down to Lysandra.
Triple kill to Renekton.
It is.
Could be more.
Lysandra is trying to keep this game from going all the way under, but she's just not enough. The other members of Abusement Park are running through. That is tier 2 mid tower gonna go down on the side of Abusement Park. They're at about 8k gold lead at the current time, and it's looking really hard to sell me on the RKZ Dream here. They got really ahead early, but they didn't use it for anything. They just kind of stayed in lanes and waited passively. Their jungler, as Gavin pointed out, still isn't sweeping any vision, keeps getting caught out, or he keeps getting tracked in the jungle so heavily. They are going to look to collapse on this Mundo here, but he might just get out. There is no flash available for him, but Set's gonna run up, and RKZ is just gonna walk out, conceding priority for this dragon.
Yeah, he just hits the R button and goes, man. That's Mundo.
Yes, sir. Lulu might be caught out here again.
Will this be the third time in a row?
Kled is out of position, but he does have TP up here. I don't think he can shove hard enough for it to be worthwhile for him not to be at this fight right now, but honestly, I'm not sure they could even take it if they tried.
If he had a Tiamat, he'd be able to clear that way quicker.
Bro? Orc build here first just does seem kind of weird once you're that behind, because, like, that Renekton's out-traded you heavy. So if you're looking to just fight him, like, you're being that behind, I almost feel like you should have just transitioned for that Tiamat after you got your Cutlass and then finished Bork. That way you're at least a split push threat.
Yeah, because he lost almost every trade with him.
Vi's getting caught out again. Ashall whiffs. Set support's looking to just run them down. And the solo laners are going to come in. Syndra is going to get Lysandra. Artie's gonna blast Hourglass. Kled ult's going to come in. Renekton still picks up a kill. He's going to grab the Ashe in the back. Syndra's going to make it to where they get Lulu. And they're just going to run this Kled down. Mundo does not respect this Lysandra at all and is just going to walk her through her own Nexus towers. Not Arctis inhibitor towers, and they should end the game right here, to be honest.
Mundo respects nothing. Go walk through your tower. Go walk through your inhib towers. He does not care.
True. Let's see if RKZ can keep the dream alive here, but I don't think they can.
The top
then Vi engages. Lulu ult's gonna come out. Vi is just gonna get annihilated. Ashe is gonna gun in, but it's not gonna be enough, and that's one game over to the side of Abusement Park here, boys and girls.
The top half of the map was just on fire. Just what can you do when you get ran over?
And like I said, the biggest thing they had to do was shut down that top half of the map, but I feel like they focused a little too much on bot side. They got an advantage mid, they got an advantage on the AD carry, but they didn't use it for anything.
Alright, let's take a look at this damage. I can't even with that Vi damage. Lulu did more damage than Vi.
I really just got herself put out of the game here. She wasted so much time on that red invade and then just died for it. She didn't have any priorities. She didn't do anything for, I want to say, almost a solid 40 seconds there.
Yeah, you don't want to
Huge.
invade someone's jungle when you're behind.
Not only that, but it's more that, like, she was in there for so long and showed that she was there in 2 different lanes.
Yeah, that was rough. Hopefully, they can reset mental and get ready for game 2. Otherwise, it's going to be a rough second game.
So what do you want to see out of the side of RKZ to bring this back?
I think they need to just go, the typical, team fight comp and just, play what they're good at. Like, it just felt like they were just a step behind the whole game. At least in my opinion.
Okay. I would argue that they weren't a step behind the whole game. I'd say that the big thing...
For the most of it, my bad.
I felt like they almost put themselves behind them, was the big thing. Like, they had a lead. They had an advantage. All the gold was towards their Renekton and the Mundo. And really all they had to do was that one weird lane swap they did needed to not happen. Putting 3 ults on the Syndra and still dying to her, like, it felt like they just executed kind of sloppy. They should have used Lissandra's pressure a little more. And Vi really needed to not be wasting as much time as she did early.
Yeah, and later on, Lulu got picked out 3 times trying to, sweep with the only scanner on the team.
Yeah.
If she had help clearing vision, she might not get picked out as much because she was the only one with the scanner on the team.
That's almost more to just like the ideology of you need a buddy when you go ward. Like jungler becomes support's pet at that point.
Yeah, true. All right. So I think that's break time for us, right?
They are. Okay. Can they not hear me anymore? And welcome back to Game 2 of Abusement Park vs. RKZ. We are just getting into draft here, and let's see what these teams have in store for us this time. We do have both teams on the correct side this time. Graves is going to be the first band coming out of the side of Rainbow Kittens, and then Rise is going to come out from Abusement Park.
Now let's see how many champs they banned that Abusement Park played last game. There's the
Well,
Munda.
The Mundo band is going to come out from RKZ.
Do we see a Renekton ban as well?
I think they might just try to ban the jungler because I think that was their big folly. Victor band coming out from the side of Abusement Park. They are gonna just try and keep that mid laner down, and Katarina is gonna be kept away from Kataris here from RKZ.
He is their only plat player, correct?
Kataris?
Yeah. For
No.
no. I meant for Rainbow Kittens. I have it backwards.
Oh,
Rainbow
no
Kittens
idea.
mid laner is the only
No
plat
idea.
player.
Fine. I'll just be
Yeah, I
like
did
you.
look at the op.gg before the game.
Zaya's gonna be the last band coming out from Abusement Park here. Caitlin's gonna be the first lock-in for RKZ. Priority picking R-Dubs his champion.
With each step, I
Dark
forge
Souls
faith
is
in a
my
fight.
favorite series, Major.
Morgana is going to come up in the side of Abusement Park. Yama is no longer a one-trick only within the past 3 weeks. He does get to play his other trick champion. Because we don't want a repeat of those Braum ults.
Good old other trick.
For the record, for everybody, me and Yama actually are friends. That's why the flip.
Are you the hunter?
And then they're going to finish that bot lane off with a Kaisa.
That should be a fun matchup in the bot lane to watch.
It's going to be pretty reliant on that Morgana either hitting her snare or one of them stepping on a lane. And Soraka Caitlyn is going to come out. It's going to be either an all or nothing fight from Abusement Park in that bot lane. They're going to really be looking for that jungler to come in, or Soraka really has to step on a line. Orange's going to be with their round out with the first half of their draft on the side of Rainbow Kittens. A little more traditional top laner looking for their team fight strengths. I like it. Set is still going to come out for Abusement Park, and that makes me suspect this Morgana for either mid or jungle, because I know Yama loves his set, but I believe Rufu can also pick it up, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Neat play it either. So those are two flex picks in 3 different roles for both of those champions. Nico's going to come out as their first ban.
Yeah, so Abusement Park didn't feel anything from the last comp, so they're just banning the same things they did last game. Exactly to the T.
That Syndra ban is going to come out from the side of Rainbow Kittens. Right now, Abusement Park, I feel like, is heavily flexing some of their picks right now, so I think mid's the safest thing that RKZ can ban, but it's still really up in the air.
Now, the last ban from last game was Varus for them, but they already have their AD pick. There's Lissandra.
They're going to take it out, try and make sure they can't have a heavy pick for their already solid team fight sustain.
So they're going to need either heavy damage in the mid lane or the jungle on the right side of Rainbow Kittens, I feel.
I would say that an AP burst from mid and then looking for more of an engaged enabler in the jungler would be better. Vladimir is going to be the last ban coming down from the side of RKZ. We're going to start the second round with Abusement Park's pick.
I mean, Galio does exist, you know?
True. But what mid laner wants to play Galio? And Olaf is going to come out for Abusement Park, making me think that Morgana does go to Yama, and that set's going to go up top, leaving mid lane for the counter pick.
By my will, this shall be.
They're going to round their comp out with a Jarvan in the jungle, and I'm looking for like an Orianna maybe, because they've got a really good team fight.
I feel like that'd be the perfect fit right here.
Would do that.
Zillion's going to come out, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, more Orianna, maybe a Veigar, something along that lines, but you know.
I would like it a lot if they didn't already have a Soraka. Like, if that Soraka was like a Nautilus or some kind of engager, I'd be fine with the Zillion. I feel like they're putting too much on Caitlyn's shoulders because they only have one real carry. Ornn could, and Jarvan has some burst, but at the end of the day, all of their consistent damage comes out of only one champion. And then they're gonna okay.
The anti-fun champ comes out.
Malzahar is going to round out their comp, and that really does call out RKZ on the fact that they have one carry and one carry alone on their end, and if that carry gets Malzahar ulted, if that carry gets Set ulted, that carry is donezo. They do have to go through a Zillion ult and a Soraka ult for it, but it is going to be a tough sell, but if anybody has a history of doing it in Titan, it is our Dubstress.
So, you know, think of it this way. Set ults the Ornn onto their squishy backline. That's going to hurt.
Yep. So, going into this with Abusement Park being up 1-0 on Rainbow Kittens, which draft are you preferring going for this game to?
I definitely feel like Abusement Park's comp here.
I agree. They've got a really good team fight. They've got a good pick comp. They could even run the 1-3 or the 4-1 really easy. They have the more flexible comp. If one of the carries gets put behind, there's several champions that could just take over the game. Whereas on the other side, like if Caitlyn or Ornn doesn't get going, and that Zillion isn't just absolutely godly at what he's doing, they just kind of fall behind and get rolled.
I feel like, you know, the ganks for J4 is possible mid because Zillion, however you say his name, can slow, you know, Malzahar and Jarvan can come in and it's pretty easy for him to pick up a kill, but that's still not going to help a whole lot if Caitlyn gets behind.
It really just depends on if Zillion blows Malzahar's shield first, and Malzahar doesn't silence him when he gets in a range, because it's still just a really tough sell, because that speed up is a large part of their engage there. The other hard part to sell for me is that they put their other carry on the side of RKZ on another enabling champion, and they got the 80 carry in the mid laner really ahead at one point, and still just didn't do anything with it last game. So trying to rely on that strategy, but thinning it down to half the people as the carry, it's going to be a rough one.
I think they could have went a better protect the ADC comp than what they have right here. At least in my opinion.
I don't think it's a tragic protect the ADC comp, but if they were going to invest that hardly into a protect the ADC comp, I almost feel like they could have just taken the Caitlyn off the table and gone for something else.
Yeah, because, you know, if the Jarvan goes anything other than damage and they have two tanks in Ornn and J4, you really rely on that Caitlyn. And if Zillion is decent, then, you know, it might not be an issue. But we're going to have to see.
For sure. So let's see if RKZ can pick a game up off of Abusement Park, or I'm just gonna stay high on Abusement Park all season. Because even right now, they're playing with a sub 80 carry. On it, this isn't even main roster for Abusement Park, and they're showing off really strong of how they come back from being in a deficit. Granted, it wasn't that large of one.
Well, it's good when your top half of the map can pick up when your bottom half of the map is doing average. You know.
For sure. It's a matter of making sure that you always have at least one strong lane and playing towards it.
You know how nice it is when you don't play that well and the rest of the team carries you? Feels great.
Oh, I go absolutely mad with it. I can't.
You had to be the carry.
I don't have to be the carry, but I can't be the feeder. I can't be the one inting. Ooh. My mental's weak. True.
Well, in solo queue, if you're the feeder and the guy that's ahead on your team just says, you know what, this is my ult account, y'all deserve this loss. That's how mine normally goes.
Oh, I see. Zerobi, I'm watching you. I see you.
I see you talking shit, sir. Sorry, this is a family-friendly channel.
Also, Gavin is now a mid laner, thank you. He doesn't play jungle anymore. He's forsaken the role.
I'm back to jungle tomorrow.
Are you back to jungle tomorrow? Spoilers!
For
Whoever's
2
facing
games.
deadly robots, check your op.gg's. Anyways,
Yeah. I just announced my return to the jungle. I need a little animation going.
Gavin, you want to have a rematch? Jarvan versus Sejuani? We can do it.
Let's do it.
I believe. Are you guys in our bracket?
I think so. Should be.
Okay.
Hey man, I'm just playing Phil for my team. I go where I'm needed.
Yo, one of the players I respect the most in this league is a Phil player, and that's why they're stuck where they are. So I would not advise the lifestyle.
I don't do it in ranked. I just mean like for my team right now.
Okay.
Because our team has a bunch of question marks. Like they don't know if they can play, or they can only play 2 games, and I can play 1. So yeah, we're just having fun down here at the Deadly Robots. Come stop by, say hi.
So I have to ask, are you more deadly to yourselves or the enemy?
Most likely ourselves.
Okay.
At least right now.
Because I've seen nothing but role swaps from your team this far. Like, every time I look over, I feel like somebody else is in a different spot. And I'm like, huh, that must be hard to practice.
Yeah, it gets there, you know, but you know, everybody's willing to try and improve on what they need to improve, and that's all a team can ask for. You know, yeah, they expect wins, but when we're, you know, transitioning from being crap to getting better, I'm happy with that.
I feel ya. I feel ya. Listen, my goal is to just eventually not be allowed in Gladiator anymore. We'll get there one day, though.
Just get totally, you can't play in TES anymore. You're too good.
Hold up, that's not what I said. I said Gladiator.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Oh my
He wants to get promoted to LCS.
That's
You heard
not
it
what
here
I want
first.
at all. Listen. It's without COVID, I'm a very busy man. With COVID, I'm not a busy man.
Get that Sven beard going.
That's not what I said either. No facial hair. No, thank you. Major with the degenerate comments in chat. Ugh. Ugh. If you say stuff like that, a certain AD carry with a cartoon character as his icon is gonna get influenced and lose.
This man played Heimerdinger bot last week. I don't want to hear nothing from him.
Nothing.
But
Alright.
but he did beat the frontline carry himself, Buzz Lightyear.
True. Though I won't lie, they put him on some champions that were questionable, it felt like.
Well, he's got to play his favorite champ, Misfortune.
I mean, I've seen his MF since then. His mental has grown. I'm not gonna lie. I was on the TV boomed out of.
He matured, you know, a
Yeah,
little bit.
he's a little bit of a butterfly. He's coming out of his cocoon at this point, you know. Alright, Gravin, we need your like glow up now too. Come back stronger.
Okay, let's do it.
Try and take my throne in our bracket.
So it'll be I'll get the second most improved in the 2 times.
That's not what I said.
I will.
See,
Now
the
I will.
hardest part about that for me is that like it's hard for me to ever steal that title from someone. Because I come in and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, you're already strong on your side," and I'm like, "No, give me improvement." Anyways, let's get this pause at 12 here. We're gonna get the screen changed on the stream, and we'll get this game going. So you have to stop listening to us talk about things you don't.
Alright. I'm still getting ready. Mine didn't load right away. Alright, I'm paused at 12.
All right.
Yep. $14, $15, $16,
Yeah,
$17. Alright, here we go.
It does look like both teams are going to look for an invade. They're going to walk towards mid lane. Orton is going to break away on the side of RKZ. And it is going to be 3 people meeting a mid lane. Abusement Park is still going to commit to this invade. Jarvan's going to walk up to the red side jungle for Abusement Park. Olaf's just going to dip, but the rest of his team are just bloodthirsty. Not even putting a ward down, just looking in that bush for free gold and walking out.
So is Grasp the thing on Orn? Or is it normally Aftershock?
Grasp is the thing on Orn.
Okay.
That's for a lane where you feel like you're going to be trading a lot.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas Aftershock is if you're just having like the 2 tank fight and then like your only goal in life is to show up to team fights.
He's trying to sustain here. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So they got that Raptor ward down.
Junglers are gonna start on their blue buffs.
Now here's my question. Is RKZ's jungler going to get a scanner to this game?
The question is, why doesn't he kite jungle? But
Because he's a god.
oh, my bad.
Jungle can't fear him.
Kiting like old Tyler one. Not at all. Lane's looking to just throw some spells back and forth. Yama's gonna get poked in.
Either way you look at it, that's
Blue.
an annoying bot lane to deal with. Caitlyn,
Very true.
Soraka.
Very true, very true. It's gonna be a really hard one to pull a gank off against. And for Olaf, looks like he's just going for a full clear on his jungle, where Jarvan looks like he's going for that 3 clear into a gank. Ornn and Set are gonna trade heavily in Ornn's favor in the top lane. Jarvan actually deciding not to go for a 3 gank and instead clears his Raptors, having completely ignored Wolves at that point and going for his Krugs. Ornn looking to try and make this trade on Set. Right now he's losing it. Olaf walking up. Ornn's flash going down and Olaf just walking away with the spoils. Gonna shove the wave in very hard into Abusement Park. Olaf's gonna look for an invade, but there's not much to find there. He might grab the wolf camp.
No transition gank from Jarvan. That's pretty weird.
Many a questions, many a questions. He did not grab a scrying on his first back again. Olaf's gonna show into the mid lane, throw an axe, walk on out, and look for that drop off timer. One thing you have to say is that Mute always very good on his jungle timers and trackings. Jarvan's just gonna walk bottom, even though you just seen Olaf in his jungle. He is gonna take this crab instead of rushing the Gromp. Orange looking to heavy trade on this set. He might just take him out before Olaf can even show up. Does the shield deteriorate before he gets help? Set flashes and gets out with an inch of his life. Olaf's gonna walk up top to try and get it. Is doing a bit of invading this time.
That is one volatile top lane, I'll tell you that right now. They're
Yes,
duking it out.
sir. The dragon is currently priorities for it do lie on the side of our KZ. Olaf looking to pose for a bottom lane gank, but Jarvan's in a position to counter. They look like they're going to try and catch the Soraka out. Morgana Q misses, Olaf Q misses, Black Shield does come out. Jarvan's not even coming up to respond to it. And Caitlyn's just going to try and run them down. Mute's going to lose Flash, but if Jarvan had just walked up, that was a double kill for RKZ.
If not more.
I don't think they could have gotten the Morgana. Or the Kaisa. Dragon's still sitting up here, and the Jarvan not really making a move towards it, even though all priorities lie in his favor at the moment. More trades going on in top lane. Set's gonna ult Ornn. Ornn's gonna charge away. Set's gonna drag him back in. And Ornn's gonna run to the tower.
Oh.
Set's gonna dive for it. Miss the W. Take some damage and walk on out.
It is going down in the top lane.
Passing back to this dragon that they so graciously left up for him. All priorities actually in Abusement Park's favor for it at the current time. They looks like they're just gonna burn it down. Juggler's not even pathing back down for it just yet. It looks like he's going towards his blue. Bot and mid are going to rotate to it, but Jarvan's still just not on the same page as the rest. There was the opportunity for Soraka Caitlyn to steal that dragon from him, but they just weren't fast enough. Olaf's going to skirt right on out with it, and Jarvan's still focused on that blue buff.
Now J4 does have a sweeper this time.
We'll get a sweeper finally. Zillion's going to get a stun off on that Malzahar. If you look, item advantage is actually on Jarvan's side, as is farm, but giving up that dragon that was by all rights theirs does damper that just a bit. And Herald's coming up right as Jarvan's rotating out of that quadrant, giving that pressure on the jungle all the way up to Olaf.
Yep, Sed's back in the STP though. This could be an easy rift for them.
Yes, sir. Bottom lane's already up there. RKZ behind on that rotation already.
Perfect 8-minute rotation.
Olaf's just taking the free objectives where they come. Jarvan's still sitting in the river. Doesn't even clear. Okay, comes back for the ward in the pit. But he's literally just playing cross-map from all the objectives, and I just don't get it. Walking into an empty jungle right now, not keep tracking on timers after where the Olaf is. He looks like he might be posing for a dive on this set, but he's actually just gonna walk out of the jungle.
J4 is such early game pressure in it. We're not seeing anything.
No, I feel like he's really underutilizing this pick. If he's gonna play like that kind of passive style, there's a lot better champions for it, especially when they only have like one real carry at the current time. Like, I feel like you put him on a more enabling type champion and you just give that mid laner something that like has the potential to carry a game. Because Jarvan almost looks scared to do anything. Set's gonna get caught up a little, but his ridiculous shield is just gonna get him out of it. Neither side looks like they're trying to respond to the swap. Olaf might even catch Jarvan out for posing into his jungle after playing so passive. Jarvan's just gonna go away, and Morgana was looking to follow up in the river right there.
And, you know, it's already too little too late because everybody has ults. He could have done something when, you know, Set didn't have ult, when Mal didn't have ult. Now it's just more dangerous.
Olaf is just gonna taunt them with Herald there. It looks like they are gonna catch out the Jarvan on that. Set's catching out Soraka on it, but they are gonna get out scot clean. Jarvan comes back in. First blood goes off. Set gets the Caitlyn, and then Jarvan comes out too. Or Caitlyn got the Set, I'm sorry. And then it looks like they might even post for first tower here from Abusement Park in the mid lane. And that's a lot of the problem that comes down here off giving one of your carries the Zillion. You just don't have the damage to follow up on things.
Like I said, he waited too long. Malzahar can just press R on him when he tries to do anything.
Sure. And they just, as we've stated over and over, Orin's gonna go in and try and get something off, but he does not get his brittle proc, and he's just gonna get poked down. If this more group goes off, I think he's just dead. Yama lives by an inch of his life with that heal. Bot lane on the side of RKZ takes down their turret right as Set shows up, and they are just gonna walk it out.
That's a man immune for Kaisa now. And probably full boost.
Yes, sir. A lot of the problems that put them in a hole from the first game are what's coming back up on the second game here, in the sense of their jungler just isn't confident. And they didn't set their mid laner up for much success here. They only picked one champion that can do any damage over time, and the Orin is just not gonna cut it on the difference here. While he does have a CS lead, I don't know that he can make a difference here where they only have one person that does anything. This dragon looks like they might try to steal it from RKZ, and it does get secured by Amusement Park. Jarvan goes in only to die. Olaf lives by an inch of his life. Orinald's gonna try and get him out, but he is gonna flash it. Orin's gonna try and pick up this Kaisa. Kaisa's style.
Nice play from Vayne there. That's confusing. Olaf already has an executioner. That's huge.
While Jarvan is keeping up and fine with this Olaf, his map impact is almost negative.
Early on in the game, Miles was pushed up a lot, and he didn't even do anything for that.
I mean, the free dragon they gave, Olaf's gonna just walk into this lane and take Soraka's life. They're gonna look to try and chase the Caitlyn down, but R-Stub says not today.
Oh.
This jungler just doesn't feel confident on his champions.
I just saw him miss an EQ combo on J4.
Yeah. But honestly, he would have only killed the support and gone in on a one-way ticket to die.
He queued first and press E.
Yeah, and they found the Olaf. Do they cut mute out here? He got a little advantageous and died for it.
That's big money on the Kate.
Zillion is looking to try and take down this set up top here, but I don't think he has the damage for it. Though he has hit 2 stuns in a row, so maybe Rufu is just gonna die to the clock, man. Orange looking to run down this Kaisa down bottom.
Zillion.
Zillion does pull it off. He takes out the set.
He hit him with all the clocks.
True. Morgana hits the bind on this Orin, and they just kind of watch him take the damage there. RKZ is posed to take this Herald, but Jarvan has to pull this trigger early. Orin does still have teleport, but he doesn't have any health to show up to the fight for it. Caitlyn's super far off, and Zillion's gonna go on a reset right as this Herald spawns. It looks like they might start it, but with Olaf Malzahar there, I'm not sure they can secure it.
So if we see Zillion play like that, you know, there's a possibility they can come back because he hit almost every single ability there.
I don't know that was the Zillion, like, from the Zillion's end, he did it very well, but it almost feels more like the set inted for that more than the Zillion carried for it. Orin's gonna get picked up for staying too long, just like the set did in the bottom lane, and that should be a tower on both top and bottom for Abusement Park.
And they didn't get the rift.
RKZ just not prioritizing any of the neutral objectives. Caitlyn looking to solo fight the Olaf in the river here. Set wants a rematch with Zillion right now in the mid lane. And Set's gonna walk into a bush full of him. Morgana Root's gonna try and save him, but Jarvan's gonna blow up everything. Set's gonna ult on in, but it's not gonna be enough. He's gonna go down. Top lane may have popped off the last game, but he is giving RKZ their opportunities in this one.
They are pinging Drake. They need to start getting control of that now if they want to be ready to take Dragon.
Honestly, if I were RKZ, I would just try to take mid priority for Dragon. Once they go to rotate on Dragon, I'd just take Herald and mid tower instead, because there's no way you can fight him for it. Try to just bridge that 3k gold gap, and the best way to do that, Herald gives you tower plating, it works towards 2 different neutral objectives, and you open up mid that way.
The jungler and the support both backed. If they were going to try and take drag, that was not the play.
They are not set up to trade objectives or take mid off this at any point now. Orin is going to get just caught out by this Olaf. Caitlyn's going to watch. Olaf might actually be getting caught out on the turnaround here, but he's going to blow ult and walk away. RKZ are trying to pressure on for this dragon. Set's gonna TP in on the side of Abusement Park towards bottom and try to collapse on them. Orin is TPing in on the side of RKZ, but he is just gonna get caught immediately. Malzahar ult comes down on the Soraka after Zillion ult goes down on the Orin. She is gonna nearly get out. Orin ult's gonna try and turn this fight, and Morgana's gonna go down, but so is the Orin. Jarvan and Set are gonna fight their own fight in the river, while RKZ just tries to walk out with their lives, hopefully looking to take Dragon here after they've zoned the bot lane out from Abusement Park, but they don't have any real chance of doing it, in my opinion.
Zillion is just handing out clocks right now.
Yeah. Abusement Park just gonna tell RKZ that they don't respect them as people and just do the dragon right in front of them. Jarvan's alone in the pit and really he's there to die. Soraka ult comes out. Superpower is actually gonna get caught here. Jarvan's gonna go down. Soraka's gonna go down. Set's gonna die for their folly. Zillion's off his ult, but he's only in a place to be killed. If Morgana binding lands, that should be Zillion's life right here. Dragon goes down for Abusement Park, and that gold lead is 5k in their favor. Morgana might take down this 80k here, but R-Dub says not today.
J4 has a Kindle Gem and a Ruby Crystal.
If we were to look at gold here, both bot lanes have about the same amount of gold as this top, but jungle and mid lane are 2k up in the jungle and 3k up in the mid lane in favor of Abusement Park here. So while the Jarvan is basically just AFK farmed this whole game, he hasn't really gotten anything for it.
His pressure is pretty much all early game, or at least early game mid.
You know, if you're just gonna play like cross map like that against the enemy jungler and only show up for team fights, like, just play Fiddlesticks. He's super strong right now. All he wants to do is farm, and then he shows up in ults. Right now, RKZ's just hoping that R-Dubs can hold this weight right now, but I'm not sure he's enough.
Well, right now, the only two people that are building damage is Caitlyn and Zillion.
He's just gonna walk in here, and Jarvan has to run from him. Jarvan going blue smite instead of, and then looking to go into that black cleaver build it's looking like. And I'm not sure I agree with it.
Because anybody on an Abusement Park can deal damage. You don't expect that from probably 3 people on RKZ right now.
Yeah. The big thing is Jarvan was their other like heavy AD, so like I agree with the Cinderhug. It should have been a red smite. He should be fighting more often, and then probably some sort of damage. Like an Umbral would even be good. Because right now while they have Orin and Jarvan just kind of being tanky, Caitlyn's the only one putting damage out for them.
So we got Dragon here in a minute 20.
Is the whole point for Abusement Park, though. They look like they're trying to pull the trigger on this Baron. Whether it's a bait or not, I'm not quite sure. Given how fast they turned on that Jarvan, I feel like it might be. Orin is going to be the thing that they have to use to start this fight on RKZ, but they are just going to set Orin onto their whole backline. Orin's not even going to matter, it looks like. Though Olaf and Malzahar are going to come down, so maybe they are able to just turn this. Jarvan putting out some damage, but Set looks like he's taking on the Caitlyn. Set's going down, and Jarvan's going to clean up this Morgana, all in the favor of RKZ. You can't take those corridor fights into the Orinal. You know, if Jarvan hadn't followed that up, though, it was going to be a really bad fight.
Did J4 finally wake up?
J4 has woken up, the alarm clock's gone off, and he answered it.
Welcome to the party, J4.
checking on that gold difference right now. It is only now a 3k gold difference for our RKZ to Abusement Park, being that Abusement Park is only up 2k now, actually, after that last tower. The jungle difference is only off by about 900 instead of the 2k that it was before, while mid lane is still a 2.5k difference. During that fight, I said Ornal didn't even matter, but I thought he was the one dying from the Zillion ult, so that was my bad. I didn't think he was going to do the secondary follow-up. Now let's see if RKZ can do anything off that winning fight, because what I've noticed from this team thus far is every time they get a lead, they just content to sit around and do nothing with it. Are they going to make a fight? Oh, go ahead.
Kaisa isn't the AD you want to just sit around and wait on.
True. On that note, she is just gonna spam out that Soraka popping Zillion's R onto her.
So far, they have done a good job of keeping them alive, but this Thorn gets caught out.
Thorn is trying to take a 3v1 on in the top lane, and I don't think he can do it. Jarvan is looking at this. Set here in the jungle. Is Malzahar enough to keep him off? And Set does come out, and it does look like Caitlyn's gonna go down for being too greedy for it. This woman has 4 supports and still finds a way to overextend and die. Jarvan going in for an EQ on a black-shielded Kaisa, and the Zillion Bomb will finish it off, but it is still highly questionable. Soraka's gonna die to this set, but Zillion will give her a second chance at life here while they just look to take this Baron from them. Will Morgana put this Zillion or Soraka in a place to die? I think not. Abusement Park is looking to just back off here. And that was a prime example of how RKZ seems to just keep throwing all their leads away.
So we should be seeing the Ornn upgraded items here, but he hasn't upgraded anybody yet because he has 14.
I think he did. He hit 14 off the wave that he died on, though.
Okay. Go upgrade that Caitlyn.
Yeah, currently the IE and the Black Cleaver are the only things that can be upgraded. I expect it to be going on the IE. I don't think Seraphs can be upgraded. I am not an Ornn player though, so I do not hold me accountable for it. Set's gonna try and solo fight this Jarvan in the bush, but Jarvan wants nothing from it. Gavin, you know what it feels like when I cast? Did you ever watch Legend of Korra?
Yeah.
So, you know when they do, like, their little, their pro-bending thing, and the man that fucking narrates the pro-bending games? That's what it feels like.
So, there's currently 8 items Ornn can upgrade.
Tell me more.
Infinity Edge, Triforce, Abyssal Mask, Rabadons, Black Cleaver, Sunfire Cape, Redemption, and Locket.
Okay, so it is current time. I don't see Soraka getting a Locket, honestly. Soraka's just gonna get caught out for looking in the bush there. Jarvan's heavily chunked, and that is gonna just be a concession of this dragon. Our Dubs is gonna get caught out, then Zillion's gonna get Malzahar ulted. Kais is just going in for it. Set's gonna ult the Ornn, and all of Abusement Park's gonna stand there and watch Ornn die. They are gonna get quite low. Zillion's gonna take the Kaisa with them. Jarvan's finally showing back up to this fight. He is going to take out the jungler. Set's going to go in for the Zillion and the Caitlyn. Is he going to be able to do it? He is going to get taken down, and it's going to be just Yama left up on the side of Abusement Park for that. Somehow they got too greedy and gave up the dragon.
He flashed with the bomb on him.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he thought he could shake it off.
Maybe. Let's see if RKZ actually secures this dragon. It looks like they're gonna this time. Yama's looking here to try and steal it from him. Can he be the hero they need, or just the one they deserve?
Oh!
Yama steals the dragon with Cooper's soul point and makes that call almost not horrific.
Give that man his yellow border around his stats.
Give that man his yellow border.
I think it's yellow, right?
So, Gavin, if they win this game, do we have to break our rule?
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Time out, though.
True.
He gets to say one word. Good answer.
Difference still around 3K here, and Abusement Park, every time they make a clean call, like, with the way their team's set up, they don't have any hard tanks, so it looks like they just keep over-chasing. RKZ doing much the same. They're gonna take a tower on the top side here. Jarvan looking to play the map.
Moralizing. Just a Morgana snipe.
So Jakob is busy sweeping a bush on the backside of the pit rather than looking for vision and the actual dragon pick or the... So they had all the opportunity.
It feels like macro-wise, Abusement Park is just way ahead because the kills are pretty even. Everything else, you know, the fights are kind of even, but, you know, map control is definitely...
Absolutely, and most of the gold on the side of RKZ is just them responding to Abusement Park, getting greedy and playing sloppy, to be honest. It's not necessarily any play they're making. But sometimes that's how you win games. Towers are currently even on the map. Gold is up 4K towards the Abusement Park now. 3 dragons and a baron in their favor.
I'm just glad Jarvan woke up, or this would have just been a landslide.
True, but I don't know. I'm still not entirely sold on him on aggressive champions. They just keep putting him on aggressive engaged champions, and the man's afraid the first 10 minutes
Yeah,
of
he
the
has a
game.
stone plate now.
Yep. To upgrade to the Black Cleaver and the Infinity Edge. Jarvan getting caught out, but they aren't gonna punish him too heavy for it, just half his health. Olaf.
Behind enemy lines, get out of there.
Looking to maybe make a flank, it looks like, and he found Jarvan here. Olaf has been found out and might go down for it. He is going to blow his ult, and the best way to counter Olaf ult is to just put him in a box. Jarvan leaves with an inch of his life. Are they going to catch Set out here? Are they throwing again to give RKZ a lead? It looks like it, folks. Caitlyn's walking up to try and gun down this mouse. That's a Soraka, I'm blind.
This is a battle of the moment.
Are they gonna lose Baron to this because they're too greedy and Mute's been caught out for a second time in enemy lines? I think so. Can Morgana take it again? The answer is no, but he did miss Smite on that, so the opportunity was there. And suddenly, just like that, RKZ looking like they might have hope, but again, it only seems like they get anything when the Abusement Park messes up, though they are closing on those fuck-ups really.
This is a family-friendly channel, sir.
I'm sorry!
Cover your ears, people.
Yes, Juan, cover your ears. Grown-up content in this team fight. Right now, Olaf has gone down for Abusement Park. RKZ is just force supporting this Caitlyn dream. Olaf's just gotta CC them up. Zillion bombs everywhere, and they're finally grouping for the team fight their comp was made for. Our Rainbow Kitten's gonna make this a game.
I take it back. He's definitely putting the backpack on Zilly. He's at least, you know, carrying the Caitlyn to more kills.
like we said, they gave her 4 supports, and we're seeing if they can use them. They should close the game out right now. Olaf's up in 2 seconds, but their solo laners are still down for 10 plus. Ornn is just tanking here, but they threw so hard to RKZ here. And that's gonna be 1-1.
Man, that was a battle of the throws. It was whoever threw last lost.
It definitely was. They just didn't play, like, they had such safe priority on things.
The damage charts definitely shows that, you know, they definitely had the damage, but they had the Soraka and the Zillion to save their asses.
But Hardab's coming out for what he's known for, solo carrying a game. Zillion and Ornn filled their purposes. Jarvan could have been, like, if they were going to play that team fight that strong, if Jarvan just had an early game at all, it wouldn't have ever had to go to the point of them stealing the game. It could have been their game.
Yeah, that Soraka healing was crazy. That's, you know, she healed a lot of that damage, and the Zillion kept the carries alive.
Very true, very true. Though, on the other end of the note, Jarvan not having an early game might have just given Abusement Park the confidence they needed to throw.
Yeah,
so maybe it was all in the secrets.
Yeah, it was, you know, false sense of security.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm excited to see how they pull it off for game number 3. And our Dubs is out here showing up for what he was talking about last Thursday of us all sleeping on him. Alright, so we are going to go on a break right now, and then we will catch you all in just a few for game 3. And welcome back to Game 3 of Abusement Park vs. RKZ, and RKZ has made this a series, taking it away from Abusement Park last time to make it 1-1. We've started draft here, where Rise and Victor bands are going to come out from Abusement Parks to start off. That Katarina band's going to solidify, and so is the Graves from Rainbow Kittens, running them back for all of those back for the second time. Third time, actually, and then the Zillion band comes out from Abusement Park with Caitlyn coming out from Rainbow Kittens, that being the priority ADC of this series.
Rip the clock, man.
Rip the clock, man. And then, before we continue on with this draft, it is going to keep running, but I'm going to give you some match results coming in from our other games. So, Fried Chicken Esports is taking down TOS Sherbert 2-0. Ravens is going to take down Noble Concern 2-0. Ruby Anonymous is going to take down Chaos 2-0. OK4 taking down everyone's favorite. The plan is simple 2-0. Solidifying what I was saying earlier in the week, that I feel like they just need to clean themselves up a little bit. Alright, back to the draft of this game. We've got Set coming out for Abusement Park as the first pick. Very heavy flex from their team towards topper support.
I could potentially see it going support again this game.
I could too.
I can never resist an invitation to
Is this a Zyra Khan?
Those look like they are locking in Zyra Khan here.
All the Vestians getting picked.
True. Let's see how Abusement Park responds to the Zyra Khan bot lane.
They gave up the Zaya ban for Zillion, and then they just got countered for it.
That's true, and do you think that the Zillion was that, like, I think it's more that the player you could just kind of put him on things safely. I don't think Zillion in and of himself was the big changer for that. He stopped a lot of, like, their pick advantages, but I don't know that he was better to ban than if you were actually afraid of that Zaya. Ezreal is going to be the ADC they choose to bring out instead.
Yeah, it was such a definite ban for them the past 2 games to give it up for Zillion. Hopefully that doesn't come back and bite them.
I feel like they are acknowledging the mid laner a little more than they're saying they can ban our dubs with that, though. They are going to bring the Syndra back in for this game 3, so I'm definitely feeling like that support's probably going to be, or that set is probably going to be support, but who knows just yet. It is still a 3-way flex pick for that particular team. And then it looks like Ornn is going to be the last thing they bring out here for the side of Rainbow Kittens for round 1. Let's see what these round 2 bans are going to be.
More of a dog person, huh?
Smart ban with the Ezreal on the table.
Yep, Yuumi coming off is good.
And plus with a set, that can be real brutal.
It can be really brutal, though I don't know that Yama is quite the Yuumi type.
Normally,
You
most
never
people,
know.
when you see Ezreal, you expect a Yuumi.
True. Nico ban coming out again, and it looks like they're going to 5-ban this mid laner. Paying no respect to the enemy jungler here, but honestly, I can understand why his early game has just been pretty afraid at the last one. I really want to see him pick up the pace here. They're going to take the Olaf off the table, even though I feel like that was the pick that threw the game for them in the last one. Him getting caught behind enemy lines.
We're getting Chaos will follow and chat nonstop.
Chaos has already arrived, friends. It's a 1-1 series, and we made it to the point where Yuumi bans are necessary, and we've 5-banned the mid laner with the Lissandra pick.
Give that man his respect. It's been earned.
Just hit him with the Vagar at this point. Want to ban all my champs?
Not against the Vagar pick here. The only problem is into the Cinder.
Oriana too, you know, who knows?
True, true.
But we're probably going to see it. Corky.
You're nothing but a whiskey delta.
We have the Corky coming in.
But here's the scary thing. I have seen Corky jungle, and I've seen it work. So let's not hope it's that.
Pretend like you didn't just say that to me and move along.
It's real.
Listen, I'm a non-believer.
I don't believe it either. But I've seen it.
Okay. Especially,
I could talk to some people about it for you.
I think I'm good. I do appreciate the offer greatly, though.
Corky out jungled a Zac. Oh, we got the Earth ban.
Who is that going to be? That is a Darius picked up, actually. That Earth is deceiving.
Well, that means they get unlimited mana and cooldowns.
Oh, shit. Let's see how Abusement Park is going to round that comp out.
Show me another Earth.
They're going to grab the Nautilus, sending that set to the jungle. Or the Darius jungle could come out of mute. I really doubt it, though. Trundle's going to be the last pick coming out from the side of Rainbow Kittenz here. And what do you think of the two comps going into this, Gavin?
I think they're both pretty decent. It's, you know, Zyra Khan is just really strong no matter what. No matter what way you spin it. Ezreal takes a little bit to get going. You know, it's actually decent on both sides.
So dare I say it, I like a Rainbow Kittenz comp better. The Corky is my biggest doubt. The Corky and the fact that to play Trundle well, you're such a good early game champion, and I've seen nothing but passiveness out of this man on early game champions, and he just loses the fights on them. He should just take this set to town in a fight, but I haven't seen him use the pressure well enough. I like their comp better, but I don't know that they can pull it off. Their mid laner and their ADC are the damage carriers here, and they're good enough to it. Their top laner has pulled off some good things with the Ornn in the last game, but my doubts lie in that jungler using that champion and the pressure that it should. I hope he does show. On the side of Abusement Park, they have just a lot of damage all around again. They're pretty thick on it. Ezreal's got some good early damage. We've seen the mid laner for
What's the Earth again?
The Earth is Darius. My apologies.
I don't see too much resistance to Trundle Steel. Do we see him going AD here, or you think he's going tank?
Trundle?
Yeah.
This man is a fool if he does not go for Warrior Triforce build, in my personal opinion. Because, like, the biggest thing is none of them get really thick to the point where he's not just able to damage through them on that champion. Plus, if he were to be, like, really tanky, even though they have Arcana and Ornn on the team, that just gives Set another target to throw onto their two backliners.
Another thing is, Corky, you don't see him too often. So, you know, how much time do you get playing against the Corky? At least in my opinion, I don't see Corky often.
I feel like the meta for Corky's coming back. We're going back into a Kali Aurelia meta, potentially, and Corky tends to show his face around that time, as does our friend Desir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how often do you practice against a Corky?
Imagine when the elo they play in much more often than the elo we play in.
Yeah, that's for true. A good court key can stomp people.
True.
That package is just busted.
So while we have a few minutes here, what do you think of? Do you have any opinions on the other match results for tonight? Did everything seem expected to you?
Yeah, for the most part, I guess, as I said, Earl King's just really good. So Fried Chicken won again. You got, Noble Concern losing the Ravens. Noble Concern's just mainly golds and silvers. So it's tough when you're playing, up in competition.
For sure, for sure. And then our new team taking on the spot for Glacial Esports, Ruby taking a win from Chaos again, and then the Yao K4 upset.
Yeah, the new team is part of Lethal Elites, ain't it?
So from last year's, or
Three of
not last year's, last split, they do have Griff, they have Elspeth, and they have Julian. And then it's the rest of their upsurge team, actually.
So yeah, you expect a decent amount of wins coming from them guys as well.
Absolutely.
Now, if they had the whole gang back, it'd be a scary team again. But they're one game in. I still expect big things from them guys, even if that's half of them.
Absolutely.
Because they only lose when they troll.
That's true, but they do have a habit of trolling quite often. Here for blood this time. Now that they don't have 5 memers on the chat on the team, we'll just have to find out in the coming weeks.
So, are you expecting this to go back and forth again?
I mean, yeah. Neither team needs to know. Neither team seems to like take the Korean style of playing and just take the safe advantages. They always leave it open to where somebody can come in and just like take it from them. They act like they're in such a driver's seat confidence when realistically, this is anybody's game here at some of the points where they do it. Their rotations aren't strictly set up to have the safest plays in mind. They're looking to just kind of have a bare-fisted brawl over it.
I do have to say though, if the Trundle's too passive, this game can get out of hand quick.
Absolutely. The hard thing is Set's ganks are pretty coin flippy on whether or not he can get that E stun off. It requires a lot of gank assist from his laners.
It's crazy. Set's been played in 3 different lanes in this series.
Very true. Like I said, that Set and that Morgana are 3-way flex picks for this particular team.
Should just took him mid this game, He could be anywhere.
Anywhere, at any time.
And Darius is one of them champs where he gets 1 kill, he could be a major problem. Syndra, Ezreal, and then it's basically the same thing on the other team, for RKZ, but they do have the Corki and the Zaya that can pop off.
Absolutely, but the other thing you have to look at on the side of RKZ is they have 2 Triforce champions. That's 2 champions that have to sit and wait for that item and ideally use that Sheen.
Yep.
While they get a really early power spike from it, the bigger spike takes a long time to get there.
And if he plays too passive, he's never going to have a full item if he's going Triforce.
Very true.
Plays too passive, will end with half a Triforce when the game's over. Alright, pausing at 12.
I am not loaded in yet.
Alright. Alright, I'm paused at 12 whenever you're ready.
Let you know.
Right, I'm paused at 12 emos.
Paused.
Count it down when you're ready. 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, here we go. Game 3.
And it does look like Abusement Park is going for that 5-man invade with a hook champion on the top side. Are they going to find this Ornn? Is Ornn going to get out? Give us 10 seconds and we'll find out. Trundle's invading the same side of their jungle all on his own. He heard us say that he's been passive, and this Ornn might die for it. They didn't have Nautilus walk in first, but Darius started hook, and Darius is gonna try and go for it. Though they blew 2 flashes on the side of Abusement Park for it, and for no reason.
You know, one of the things that didn't, Trundle could have went mid to know that nobody was at mid to at least let them know that they were possibly trying to do something sketchy like that.
Honestly, I don't disagree with the way that RKZ played that. I disagree with the Darius flash and the Ezreal flash. I think if they just let the Ornn flash and get out, they win that.
That was just, I don't know.
Nautilus and Syndra, or I'm sorry, just Nautilus. Nobody actually used Ignite on the side of Abusement Park, though they are pinging it on Yaok4. Or not Yaok4. I am caught up in match results. RKZ. Pyrus, I blame you.
We got a man on a manatee in the mid lane.
Yo, they did get the Earth they locked in. Look at that.
Yep. So it was a legit Earth.
Some early trades here. Trundle doing an early invade. Hostility going on from the LK4 folks in the chat. Mid's doing some standard trades. Set's just gonna bump into this Trundle on his blue buff, and Trundle is just gonna walk away with it, or he's gonna fight them, and this is the aggression I'm here to see from him. This should be Trundle's fight to lose, boys and girls, and he flashed the wrong way. At that point, he is now getting collapsed on by the enemy. He might just recall out.
They're coming.
I don't think he has the time for it.
Nope.
Trundle might execute here.
Nope.
No, that is a flash ignite. And first blood onto him. He should have just taken the flash and left with it. I like the aggression, but there is a line. You have to temper yourself. Anybody that's ever played the game with me would know I'd probably be very angry at this point. Like, you have to just not over-aggress for it. That's how you lose games.
We need more question mark things for that, please.
I think the enemy jungler... I think RKZ's... I'm tired. RKZ's jungler has the right idea here. He's just going a little too far for it this time. If he can temper that aggression, that's just what we're looking for out of him this time, though.
He is the enemy at this point.
Top lane is just going to throw everything. But Darius is just going to run this man out for using all his cooldowns. Syndra's sending this Corki out of her lane. Corki's got a low barrier for it. Is Ornn dare go in again? I think not.
The mage assassin bruiser fears no one.
Death Knight. You forgot Death Knight.
Death Knight, Juggernaut, Marksman.
Good, good. Please finish the title.
Enchanter, Paladin, Necromancer,
Okay, you're close. I think there's like 2 more.
Dark Knight,
I already said that
and White Mage.
one.
There
Okay.
you go. You got any more to input?
No, I do not. Aside from the fact that this dragon has spawned and Abusement Park has made their recalls for it and look to come back up for it, but Trundle is again on the wrong side of the map at spawn, though they do have bot priority for it now. He did just show in the mid lane to clear a wave, though, that will give Abusement Park time to set up for this dragon. Will bot lane catch out the set here? Trundle is going back to the opposite side. Maybe he's gonna go try and take this Gromp, but he's just gonna walk away from it, actually. Oh? Top's just gonna watch the Orin recall. Mute is gonna go into the Dragon Pit and clear that control ward.
Looking for a gank bot lane.
He really has to have bot lane set that up. Orin is gonna catch out this Darius here, look to fight him. Can he win that fight, though? He is gonna have to use ult for it. And it looks like he might have the Darius here. Darius is gonna flash and ghost. Oh no, he saved his ghost actually. Just flash out. He has Nimbus.
Yeah, Nimbus Cloak. That's the go-to for almost everybody now.
True. Well, it's fairly even, and this is the first game in this series where this dragon has gotten to live this long. Nautilus is going to find a hook, and he's going to hit his passive off for it. They're going to do some pretty heavy trading on their con. Are they going to turn around for it? Yama looks to be in some trouble here. Ignite going to go off on him, and he is forced to flash and get out. Syndra is looking to trade with this Corki again. You know, if this Trundle is just on this bottom side of the map right now after that engage, that's their dragon to have at the current time.
Oh, remember when you said there's 2 Triforce champions? Corki has a tier at the moment.
Okay.
So,
That just means he's probably potentially going for the other.
yeah, so he's gonna go mana.
Looking for a gank on this bot lane. He does get the stun off on both, but the follow-up just wasn't enough. They do disengage quite well. Syndra misses the stun, and Trundle's looking to gank the Syndra, but Corki doesn't even need the help. He does go down to the Syndra ult, though, and that is a 1-for-1 in the mid lane.
From the grave.
Both champions using both Barrier and Ignite coming out. Set looks like he might be looking at this dragon right now. And somehow...
They clearly have vision of them.
Yeah, somehow Abusement Park has taken priority for this dragon. Will Trundle try to rush this Herald when it's up? They should have full jungle priority at the very least. So Darius is here to make sure they don't do it. And Darius doing a check to make sure Trundle wasn't invading during that time, then going on a recall. Mid is actually looking to pick up that blue buff, it looks like. Nope. Taking a stroll. Titan's helping you out in the chat with
Yeah, he gave
the
me
2
the
you missed.
title.
We'll have to work on it next week. I'm gonna need you to memorize it for the next time you see Orn.
Roger that.
I think you have 2 weeks for it, 1 week? I'm not sure.
It's like Khaleesi, the mother of dragons, breaker chains.
Very true. Very true.
Chat, it's more like Abusement Park took a game off themselves.
They gave zero respect where respect was due. in the sense of you can't just treat your opponents like they aren't people if they still know how to turn the game around. Some heavy trades in the favor of RKZ going out on this mid lane, but Syndra can turn that in just any time now, and she's actually just gonna take the Corki's gonna get down, both flash their blood, but Corki ends up going down from the Syndra Q anyways.
Hit him with the old outplay button.
They're gonna fight in the top lane maybe here. Darius does get his hook off. Orange just gonna charge out though, but he's not sure if he quite wants to walk away from the fight just yet. Darius is gonna get 5 stacks, and Orange decided he's had enough. Trundle is just bot lane for no reason. And sitting there.
He wants to gank them minions.
I guess. He's setting up for a lane gank for opponents that are clearly on the map in the top side.
Guess they want to trade turret plates.
I don't think that they can just burst that tower down once, if anybody responds to them. They need an additional wave to go through all 5 plates.
Yeah, I don't.
Set ult is going to take Corki down up in the top lane, though. Syndra is going to go down to them down here in the bottom lane by not respecting them and just walking forward to take out the support. I think this tower is going to go down for RKZ before Abusement Park takes the first one top. Herald should go down to Abusement Park, though, and this Ezreal is just going to bait this Ornn out. Nautilus is going to show up with the hook, and they're just going to clean him right up. Tower isn't going to go down in the bot lane just yet, but they should have it on this next push. Herald is going to go over to Abusement Park, it looks like, but they traded 5 plates RKZ for the Herald, so that's actually a win for them.
This game is wild right now.
True.
So that's big money on Zyra right now. And
So they are going to trade towers for it and get plates. So in the end, it does end up back on Abusement Park's favor. Or not using teleport to try and save the tower, which in the best case scenario there, they didn't look for any heavy rotations that way. Trundle just safely farming his jungle, even though they have vision on set, and he could have just taken the red buff there.
oh, I just noticed Set has Predator.
True.
I was wondering why he was so fast when he ganked bot lane.
Boy zooms. And it looks like they're just sending 4 members all the way to this dragon. Everybody's going to show up for it on the side of Abusement Parks, while the bot lane for RKZ is still slow on the rotation for neutral objectives.
This is the wrong time to have your bot lane in the top lane.
It's most certainly the wrong time to have your main consistent damage. Not here. They're gonna just give Abusement Park the dragon simply because they didn't rotate, and they're just all gonna stand mid lane and watch it happen.
The only good thing is Zyra's getting solo money in the top lane.
True. But at that point, I feel like they should have just pressured that tower with the Rakan as well if they just weren't gonna attempt to make a play off it anyways. Without both of them up there, they aren't gonna have enough damage to actually take that tower down. They aren't trading objectives, and realistically, they only gave Xayah 2 plates. Set is looking to just take Ornn out here. Ezreal should come over. Set doesn't get anything about this tower here. And will they have enough damage to do it? They will. Does Set go down for it? He does. That is a 1-for-1 trade. 2 ults go into it. And is Trundle going to be able to help take down this Syndra here? She is pretty low on mana. And they are gonna burst her down. Corgi Barrier's gonna come out, and she isn't gonna pick up a kill for it. Darius is rotating down in the jungle, but I'm not sure that he's going to accomplish much aside from saving mid tower.
RKC's starting to find its footing, you know. Took like a game and a half, but they're starting to really pick it up.
All they really needed was their jungler to be aggressive, and frankly, I don't agree with the set jungle pick here from I Mute You, just because it takes away from a lot of what he's good at, which is like being an oppressive jungler. And like he put himself on back, like a jungler that's pretty back, but it doesn't go in and just like oppress the enemy.
One third of the Sheen is done on, or the Triforce is done on Corki. And it looks like Trundle's going tank.
Trundle does look like he's going for that tank build. We're just gonna make it out of that set. Oh,
That was a really weird animation. But that's packaged for Settle. He generously gave his blue to his mid laner. What a nice spell up.
Darius is looking to not just get caught out here. Ornald's gonna go down for it. Xayah putting out a lot of damage. Darius is just gonna make it out there on the top. Rakan looks like they're setting up for a dive once that minion wave goes in. Bot lane, it is the Trundle versus Set and the Ezreal. Darius is just gonna get forced out of this tower. They're gonna have to give up the tower on the side of Abusement Park top. They do end up taking a tower for it bottom though.
This is the most even game we've had this series.
And like I said, a lot of that comes from the fact that like the enemy
Yeah, enemy jungler.
Oh my god. It's because I'm looking at it from what feels like blue side perspective.
Alright, so enemy jungler Trundle is playing more aggressive. Got it.
He's playing aggressive, and Mute's just on a jungler that, like, doesn't get to be oppressive at any point in the game. Like, so long as RKZ, like, plays safe and, like, towards advantages, Set really doesn't get to pull the advantage out. That, like, his character comes from just, like, having a brawl.
So it looks like the enemy team's getting ready for Dragon. The home team is ready to fight back.
Enemy team. Ooh, Rakan's gonna come in and try and start a fight there. He does not have ultimate quite yet. They are gonna catch Set out, it looks like. There is Trundle gonna come in for it. Orin holding, not quite having ult just yet there.
That mystic
They're
shot.
pulling Trundle over the wall, and they're just gonna take him down, giving that dragon away. They are looking like they're gonna pick out the Syndra there. Orin misses on its second go-ahead. They're gonna trade Xayah for Syndra there. Orin's gonna take down Nautilus. Quirky is gonna go down, and all of RKZ goes down to Abusement Park, giving them the dragon. That Trundle trying to cheese in that bush cost them everything. That should be a free mid-tower dragon and herald for Abusement Park here. Let's see how heavy they push this advantage.
Enemy team was aced.
Oh my god. Listen, we never claimed that I wasn't a small-brained individual.
You meant big brain?
No, we haven't claimed that I'm not small. We get it, I'm stupid.
All lanes are pushed in their favor. They took drag, now they're getting ready for Baron, because Baron just came up. Ezreal's playing safe with the blue build.
They did decide to take mid-tower rather than trying to burn down for a herald there, though. I don't know that I agreed for that. Nautilus grabbing a hook on the Xayah. Rakan ulting and going in. Trundle's showing up on the backline here. Can they get anything out of it? They're looking to try and take the Nautilus down. Trundle's gonna get heavy poked down. Nautilus looks like he might be going down. He grabs the Xayah. Xayah might go down as well. Ezreal doing some heavy poking. Xayah ends up going down. Syndra does in the Hourglass. Ezreal's gonna take the Rakan for the Syndra's life. Corki trying to get out. Ornn might be caught out here. Set's gonna ultimate. Set's gonna take Trundle's life with the help of Ezreal. Darius gonna show up and secure that Ornn kill. And Abusement Park is done playing with their food, and they've shown up to the game. My brain's like super slow right now, I don't know why. Does look like they should get Baron off of this. On last, Corki can make a hero play, though we've already saw one this series. I don't know that we get another.
Trundle went random.
Trundle definitely should not have gone Randuin's. Like, as we're not a crit carry, nobody on their team crits. Like, nah, Huh?
Let me get F's in chat, boys.
Anyways, enemy jungler, let me love you, but like, good. I don't know.
Well,
like, I feel...
Dead man's plate. Dead man's plate. That's a thing.
Or even just like a frozen gauntlet, if that way you get your Sheen proc too, especially since you're like, should be fighting, like, it gives you the armor at the very least. If you're like really concerned about it, you could even go like baby mail into something else, but like, Randuin doesn't do anything. Rakan's gonna try and catch out the Syndra, but Xayah's gonna get caught out for it again, and R-Dubs just can't stay alive.
Yeah, they kind of threw a little bit when they went all full AD.
I don't even think that was the problem. They've, ever since they lost the dragon fight, they've just kind of been, being sloppy. Rufu's actually gonna be the one gonna get caught out here.
On the Rakan, though, the shutdown.
Very true. That Ignite tick is gonna take it from him.
I think Corki is mixed.
The second part of Ornal does get cancelled. Rakan looking to try to make a play there, but he's not really going to get anything out of it.
The only person down at Dragon is Trundle. Trundle has to know he's gonna get collapsed on, right? So they got that good old-fashioned Ocean Soul. Now, what's the way RKZ can come back somehow? Can you even see a way? Lucifer, you alive, bud?
Somebody tried to talk to me in real life, so I had to mute my mic for a second.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want it to come across on stream. I mean, honestly, it's really hard because it kind of just like ran at them a few times, and it's cost them literally everything. They don't have like a really clean wombo for it. Like it has to be like an Ornal into like a really good Rakan alt and engage with a good front to back from like Trundle, Zaya, and Corki is the only way I see them really coming back from it. But Syndra has to be the thing they pick out at the very beginning because she stops that front to back in its tracks. Set can also just take their frontliners and drop them on the head of their backliners. It's really hard. Once you let that enemy team get ahead, they snowball it so aggressively. They're not here to try and drop the series. They're not here to be shown as the weaker team, so I don't see them giving away like they did the last game. You know, this is close to the fight RKZ wants, but even with the tower, they couldn't make it happen, so I just think the game's over.
Yeah, that's it. That's all she wrote.
Abusement Park should win it here. 2-1 on the side. We'll let that be a fact for you folks. You win blue side games, you lose red side games. So, Gavin, looking at this all, who's your MVP and why isn't it Yama?
It isn't Yama because he's in timeout, so I'd say I'd have to give it to the Vayne.
So you want to give it to their E sub?
He stepped up, man.
Okay. Now, how do you feel about bringing both of them up?
Remember, he's only allowed one word.
Okay. I will
Give it to the bot lane.
Okay. I will retrieve them. Alright, so we have Abusement Park's E sub 80 carry and their main roster support. We are only going to allow the support one word because his team said, and I quote, he's in timeout and can only come with that restriction. So, can you tell us how you feel about subbing in this week, Vayne? Or Brian, however you'd like us to refer to you?
Brian's fine.
Okay.
It was fun. It was exciting. This was my first match playing in Titan Esports. So it was really exciting. And I also know their mid laner Tommy. So it was fun playing against him too. He played really well.
Yeah, man, their mid laner was definitely, one of their strong suits. Yama, give us your one word of the entire series.
Hello.
So with that, you definitely showed up for your first game here, coming in for it. And are you staying on their roster as an actual sub, or was this a one-time thing?
It's a one-time thing, but I think they are making new teams or this league is making new teams, and I think I'm gonna be on it.
Okay. Well, we hope to see you there.
Yeah, well, if you don't get picked up, guys, there's an emergency sub that played really well,
Yeah, let me
Might
know.
be a good idea to pick them up.
Absolutely. And I'm actually going to let Yama have a few other words. So, Yama, you guys have won both of your games. In my opinion, you're at the top of the bracket for it, even though you threw another game this week. You guys are the only non-2-0 I can see on the match results. What team are you afraid of?
So recently, our boys, Glacial Rising Phoenix, have left the Titan East, and a new powerhouse has come onto the roster thing, right? So Elspeth and his LE Knights have joined him to try to defend his title. So I'm pretty sure those are at the moment the number one seed, if not second. So those are most likely the team to look.
How do you feel about the AOK4 taking the plain as simple? Are you a little afraid of that team?
Honestly, I am not surprised because we played Yaoke last week and they were really strong. Like they were all of their plays.
Okay, whoever server muted Yama, I'm gonna need you to stop. Mute.
Damn.
Alright, continue.
Yeah, so last week we did beat them in a 2-1, but that one game that they took off of us, we were like insanely surprised on how actually good they are. And like props to them. Yeah, kind of not surprised. I'm really curious about what happened because Flan went mid and Filbert was 80 carry, so
I did see that. I think that might have a big reason to why they didn't pick up at least one game from that. Though I do know that they are trying out some new stuff on that front. But thank you for your time on that. And with that, we are gonna call it this week's Olympian League game from Titan Esports. This is our MVP, the bot lane for Abusement Park, and thank you for joining us from me and my co-host here, Gavin.
Have a good night, everybody.